That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Marty Supreme, the sixth and first solo feature directed by Josh Safdie, which premiered at the 2025 New York Film Festival. A24 is releasing it theatrically on Christmas Day, 2025.
I know Josh Safdie has directed films with his brother.
Benny, this year they went separate. Benny directed The Smashing Machine, which premiered earlier and we also reviewed. But if those of you out there who haven't seen Good Time or Uncut Gems or Heaven Knows What, I think those are all fantastic.
What is Marty Supreme about? Marty Mauser, a young man with a dream no one respects, goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness. What is your pull quote?
The controlled chaos inherent to the Safdie signature arrives in full force with Marty Supreme, a sports drama about a dog-eared hustler who is as obnoxious and down and out as any of Safdie's previous hapless dreamers, whose desires punch a black hole into the universe of everyone in their midst.
Mine. A ping pong film that's unexpectedly thrilling, dramatic, and hilarious. Who would have guessed? I was very surprised by this film.
It took some convincing for me to get you to see this.
I had no interest in this movie. Mm-hmm. You saw it and then texted me saying I should probably watch it.
Most definitely. Mm-hmm.
All I knew is it starred Timothée Chalamet and that there was a sex scene with Gwyneth Paltrow. I didn't know who directed it. I think I assumed it was going to be like Kingpin or something. Mm-hmm. Or we reviewed a film about an eccentric golfer.
The Phantom of the Open, Craig Roberts directed it.
But this was nothing of the sort.
No, not at all. And I believe we're both a bit iffy about Timothée and Gwyneth, at least on my part. And I have to say, I loved everyone in this movie.
There is so much I liked about it. The script is so clever and detailed. This is the kind of storytelling I like. In general, when someone just starts going on about something and it's interesting and who knows where it's going to go and there's so many details. And then when you think there's no way that they're all going to coalesce, they do.
Right. And there might be an argument here for this being very similar to some previous films that Safdie wrote with screenwriter Ronald Bronstein, who also directed a movie called Frownland. I think people should check out. It's on Criterion. But Uncut Gems, the Adam Sandler character, Robert Pattinson in Good Time, the Timothée character is cut from the same cloth, for sure.
The casting is out of this world. There are so many interesting and unexpected people in this thing.
Yes.
Tyler the Creature.
I think Tyler the Creator does a fantastic job in this as well.
Isaac Mizrahi. Fran Drescher.
Abel Ferrara. You have David Mamet, Fred Hetchinger, Sandra Bernhardt.
Sandra Bernhardt, I totally forgot about her.
And then, of course, Kevin O'Leary, presumably playing himself.
So the casting is great. The script is great. The performances are standout. Timothée Chalamet's performance is extraordinary.
I almost hate to admit it, but I agree. To me, from an American filmmaker this year, it's this and One Battle After Another that I think were kind of examples of exquisite filmmaking that's still available on the landscape. But yeah, I think he is quite good. And he also produced this. So this was, kind of maybe a star-making vehicle for him, if you don't think he is one already.
The cinematography.
Darius Kanji, who's worked many times with David Fincher, James Gray. Just this year, he also lends Eddington and Mickey 17, which we also reviewed those films.
The editing, it's all so well done.
Production design, Jack Fisk. Who, has been great for years. But also, I loved the score. Daniel Lopatin. This made it's set in the 50s, but this very much looked and felt like a film set in the 50s that had been made in the 1980s.
I highly recommend people check this out. I feel like I can't talk about this movie without just spoiling the hell out of it because there's so much going on. Mm-hmm. Very simply, though, Timothée Chalamet plays a guy named Marty Mauser. He's a ping pong player, and he's quite accomplished, but at the time in the United States, and I think that's still the case, ping pong is not a very popular sport.
A highly respected sport, yes.
So he's doing everything he can to change that, for himself mainly. Mm-hmm. So you think this movie is going to be about this person who rises to the top, but that's not it at all. When I read the IMDb premise and it says that he goes to hell and back, I thought, like, what does this ping pong player do that puts him through the ringer like that? But we see what happens, and he really does go to hell and back. So again, I do think people should watch the movie before they listen to us talk about it.
Oh yeah, as always. I mean, watch the film first.
Okay, so the film starts out in New York City in 1952, and we meet Marty Mauser. He works at his uncle's shoe store. Mm-hmm. His mom is played by Fran Drescher.
Rebecca. Mm-hmm.
We get a sense that while he is an amazing salesperson, he wants to focus on ping pong. And we see him arguing with his uncle about giving him the money he owes him so he can use that to go to London. Mm-hmm. We also see that he has a little girlfriend named Rachel.
Odessa Asian, who you know from the Hellraiser film. Girlfriend is a open term, I think.
Right, because initially you think it's his girlfriend because she sneaks into the shoe store, they have sex, and then we cut to the opening credits, which reminded me of Look Who's Talking.
I wrote that down too, yes. Very
Because
much
you see
so.
sperm going. Mm-hmm. So clearly he's gotten this lady pregnant. Ultimately, we find out that she is a childhood friend. And the way they have sex in the shoe store, it seems like this is kind of a regular thing. Mm-hmm. But this lady is married to another man.
Emery Cohen, yes.
And we see that Marty's best friend is Wally, played by Tyler, the Creator, which after some of Tyler, the Creator's comments, I know he was in love with Timothée's ass, his little twink white ass. Oh, plus there's another scene where there are other white guys.
Including Ethan Hawke's kid with Uma Thurman, Levin Hawke. Yeah.
And that's all I could think of was that Tyler was in heaven. But ultimately, we find out that Marty's uncle is trying to manipulate him because he wants Marty to settle down and stop this ping pong nonsense. So he's withholding money from Marty. Mm-hmm. So what does Marty do? He robs the shoe store at gunpoint to get his $700 so he can go to London. And he does. Marty's very confident when he gets to London because he knows he's the best player until he sees a Japanese player named Endo.
Yes.
Who he did not expect because there had been a travel ban up to this point. Mm-hmm. But because ping pong is so popular in Japan, the association somehow got this travel ban lifted for him.
Mm-hmm. And we have to remember early 1950s relations between Japan and the U.S. were not good yet.
So Timothée stressed about Endo. He sees Endo playing with a special paddle, which comes into play later. Mm-hmm. Also in London, well, first off, Marty confronts one of the Ping Pong Association officials.
Mm-hmm. Pico Iyer, who is an author and essayist, and he's one of my favorite parts, actually.
Marty has confronted him because he's not happy with his accommodations. They're staying in barracks, crowded together. It's difficult to sleep. Marty's saying that without good sleep, he can't perform well. So when he confronts the official, he asks, well, where are you all staying? Oh, at the Ritz-Carlton. So where do we see Marty? In the presidential suite at the Ritz-Carlton. How is he paying for that? Who cares? So while he's at the Ritz-Carlton, schmoozing people, trying to convince them that he's a big deal, he sees a famous Hollywood actress walk in.
Kay Stone, played by Gwyneth Paltrow.
And Marty is taken. Mm-hmm. I really, really enjoyed this film. There are so many good scenes, but one of my favorites is Marty calling Gwyneth's suite, trying to convince her to go see him play the following day. And he does. She shows up. That leads to them having sex. Mm-hmm. We also find out that she's married to a very rich man
named Milton Rockwell, played by Kevin O'Leary.
And Kevin O'Leary is perfect for this role. I know him from Shark Tank, as I'm assuming most people do, and I think he's a dick on Shark Tank. So it's like he's playing himself in this movie, kind of vile. Gwyneth's character hates her husband, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only vile, he's an elitist, he's pompous, he's an asshole.
So the match happens against Endo, and of course Marty loses. So he's upset. Marty has a ping pong buddy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they play doubles but it's this gentleman named Bella.
Yes, played by Geza Rohrig, who, if you have never seen the 2015 film Son of Saul, which is also a Holocaust film, that is must-see filmmaking. But he is also one of my favorite side characters, and the most profound moment of the film
involves honey.
Oh, I'm
I'm about to get to that. Mm-hmm. So after Marty loses the match. Of course, it's like, what are we going to do next? And Bella tries to convince Marty, like, hey, there's an opportunity for us to tour with the Harlem Globetrotters. But Marty doesn't want to do that. He thinks it's beneath him to play a halftime show doing ping pong tricks. So they're at the Ritz-Carlton. Marty sees Gwyneth dining with her husband, and Marty plays a little game to get the husband to come over and is basically trying to schmooze him and get an opportunity. And while Mr. Rockwell is at the table with Marty and Bella, Mr. Rockwell notices on Bella's arm that he has the tattoo from the concentration camp, and then makes a comment about how my son died to save you, which of course is really inflammatory. But then Marty comments like, didn't your son die in like Japan? Like,
Well, I think he says he died in the Pacific.
like, yeah, so like he wasn't anywhere near Auschwitz where Bella was. And then you just alluded to it, but Bella tells the most amazing story about how, because Bella was a famous ping pong player, so one of the guards at the concentration camp recognized him and as such gave him like a special assignment, which was to deactivate bombs.
All alone out in the woods. So if he messed up,
So if he did detonate it, he'd only harm himself. And while he was out there, he found a beehive. And what does he do? Smoke out the bees, open up the hive, cover his body in honey so that when he gets back to the camp, the other people there could feed off of him. And so the visual of these people licking the honey off of him was...
There's really no other moment in the film that comes close to... Because essentially, I think you could break the film down into, pride comes before the fall, and survival mechanisms is, trying to make a better life for yourself. But there's really nothing that's quite so stark as that moment. It's really quite powerful. I kind of got chills watching that scene.
Well, now's a good time to mention some of the things that didn't work for me in this film. I think the main thing is, while this movie is very dramatic, and I love that, I didn't really feel anything for anyone. There wasn't a lot of emotion, except the moment with the honey.
You sure? Yeah, I agree. I can agree with that.
So after Marty meets Mr. Rockwell proposes, because now that he's learned about Endo and how popular ping pong is in Japan, and the way Endo holds his racket, they refer to it as something
like the pen holder.
And Mr. Rockwell's business is ink, and he makes pens like Bic. So Marty suggests that maybe you do some marketing related to that. So Mr. Rockwell thinks about it and says, yeah, we should do? Host an exhibition match in Japan. You play against Endo. I'll pay you $1,000. You can fly my private jet. And so initially Marty's excited, like, hell yeah, money and I get redemption. Oh, no. You can't beat Endo in Japan.
On his home turf.
On his home turf, because he's like a hometown hero.
He's a national hero, yeah.
Yeah, like you have to lose. You have to throw this match. And you have to throw it by a lot. But Marty's pride won't let him. He gets upset. And then a line that took my breath away after Mr. Rockwell had commented to Bella that my son died to save you people. Marty tells Mr. Rockwell, I don't know why you want to entertain the Japanese so badly after they murdered your son. Like, oh my God.
And he knows right away that he shouldn't have said that.
He effed up.
And of course, that is seemingly the end of that business deal.
His ruining. Okay, another really good moment is we get a montage because Marty does end up taking the job with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Which is one of many instances where he's like, I'm above doing something like that. And then, of course,
does it?
What does he end up doing?
So we get this montage, and at one point they end up in Egypt, and Marty's crazy ass goes to one of the pyramids and chips off a piece of the pyramid.
Which, is interesting. We haven't really talked about, there's a dog that's kind of central to this as well, named Moses. As we all know, Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt. So I think there are a lot of interesting subversive elements in this film as well.
We also see Marty and Bella playing tricks with a sea lion that I thought was really cute. So Marty does his tour with the Harlem Globetrotters. We have to remember that he left Rachel at home, presumably pregnant. So when he gets back, she's very pregnant. So he's been gone for months. He has the money he's earned that he's intending to use to get to Japan to have this rematch with Endo on his own terms. So he gets back to his apartment. His mom is there because he lives with his mom. She seems frustrated with him.
She's frustrated. Fran doesn't have too much to do in this, but it's interesting. There's one moment where we see that she sleeps in her son's bed at night.
That's right.
So they have an interesting relationship. She also manipulates him.
She does.
Because the first time we meet her, Sandra Bernhard, her neighbor Judy, is calling him at the shoe store to say, you need to come home. Your mother's sick. She needs to go to the hospital, which clearly that's a lie.
It's not true because the mom is feeding Sandra Bernhard those lines. But Marty gets home, jumps in the shower, and while he's trying to dry himself off with a towel, the police enter the apartment and arrest him. And we see that his uncle has had him arrested for robbing the shoe store. But it's all a game. The uncle has paid the cop to do this, basically to scare Marty into shape. Ultimately, he lets Marty go under the condition that he'll be the manager at the shoe store.
But has also taken the money he's earned.
But he's looked through Marty's luggage and taken the $700, which is like his entire nut. So Marty agrees, like, okay, I'll work at the shoe store, but let me go back to the bathroom and get dressed. He's in there for too long. They break down the door and see that he's escaped. So he calls his best friend,
Tyler, from the shop that is owned or run by Rachel and her husband.
And that's when her husband realizes, I bet you two are fooling around.
And that's when he also sees Rachel's, because she's 9 months pregnant at this point.
And as the audience, we realize she's pregnant. But then another amazing segment of the film is Marty and Wally go check into a hotel because Marty has nowhere to go, and they have to come up with a plan to hustle money. So they go to this hotel. He can't really afford a nicer room, so he's given a room where he can't use the bathtub. We also see Abel Ferrara walk in.
Which, one of the most incredible contemporary filmmakers that's still alive, for one thing, but he's perfectly cast. Especially if you know his New York movies.
He is this crusty old man with this dog, and when he walks into this hotel, everyone's like, oh my God, that dog is covered in shit and stinks. Don't go in the elevator and give that dog a bath somewhere.
He's like, I'm not taking the stairs.
So then we see Wally and Marty in their room, and while Marty's getting undressed to take a bath, Wally is looking through his mail. And that's when we discover the bill from the Ritz-Carlton where Marty was balling out, and he owes $1,500.
Everywhere this man goes, strings attached.
I do think another odd point to the story is that Marty would have even cared about that bill.
I think the only explanation I would have for that is the ping pong tournament being upset that they might get stuck with a bill, so he feels like he has to make amends.
I could buy into that, but I think for someone as big of a hustler and is just making these wild, crazy decisions the way Marty does, I can't imagine he would care about a hotel bill overseas.
Right, but
anyway, so now he has the stress of, I need $700 to get to Japan, and I need $1,500 to pay the Ritz-Carlton. So what are we going to do? They're going to go to places where they run that game where it's like, we don't know how to play ping pong and then beat everyone for their money.
It's very white men can't jump.
Exactly.
It's what Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson do in that film.
Exactly. But before that happens, Marty's taking a bath, and the bathtub falls through the floor and lands on the bathroom below, which happens to be Abel Ferrara's bathroom, where he's actively bathing his dog. So Marty's bathtub falls on the dog. It's insane.
It's insane because the performance the dog has to give there, Abel's arm is crushed.
Abel's badly injured. The dog is injured. You get some of Timothée's pasty little flapjack ass.
Yeah.
And they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. The police show up, ambulance, all that. Marty's trying to hustle money from the hotel. Like, I'm not going to sue you. Just give me $10. They won't do it. But Abel Ferrara tells Marty,
bring my dog to the vet. Get some money for yourself out of my bag there.
Take $50 for you and $50 for the vet. Marty goes to that damn bag, and there is thousands of dollars in that bag.
Which anyone in their right mind if you are surveying that situation, a man that has that money staying in this flop house, that's probably somebody you don't want to mess with, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
They're doing something.
So Wally and Marty hop in Wally's taxi cab with this $100 and an injured dog. And of course, they are not going to the vet. They're like, now that we have this money, we can go flip it at the bowling alley, hustling people with ping pong. And then we get another fun scene where, man, Timothée does a good job with this character because there are moments when his character makes anti-Semitic comments that he excuses because he's Jewish. And then in the bowling alley scene, he's pretending not to know Wally, Tyler, the creator, and is being racist towards him.
He's being racist to the degree where these other white people that are also most likely racist are offended for Wally.
Which you know is bad.
You know that's not good.
Also, one of those white guys at the bowling alley seems to take a liking to Tyler, the creator.
He feels bad for him. Well, first of all, they've upped the dramatic stakes. Tyler's got this Kleenex in his nose that looks like he'd been punched. He had a bloody nose.
And he messes up his hair saying that someone tried to pay him his cab fare.
Yep. So he and loses to Timothée to such a degree he can't get home. And so then all of the other guys who have a belief in a just world are like, hey, give him at least enough money so this guy can get home.
So they win big. Of course, everyone's upset and they leave. They are en route to a gas station with the dog in the back. They're stealing gas when all of a sudden, all those white guys from the bowling alley show up in a truck like they're ready to lynch them.
Mm-hmm. The jig is up.
There's a confrontation, and this scene was crazy because they're fighting. Someone covers all those guys in gasoline.
Timothée does, which kind of reminded me of Zoolander.
Oh, sure. And then they run off in that taxi cab and like bend a corner and the door flies open and the dog flies out of the car. And it's all shot so well. Then we see somehow a match was lit and the gas station blows up. Mm-hmm. And I have to presume all those guys were killed because they were all covered in gas when the gas station.
We never find out.
We don't.
But yes, it wasn't good. But yeah, and then the dog running off in the dust of the dirt road.
We see Marty go back to find Rachel's after she presumably has been beaten up by her husband. So Marty assaults him.
Yes, with an award from his room.
Then there's another sort of side plot that Marty has this friend who's kind of a dopey guy, but this dopey guy's dad is a businessman. And so earlier in the film, we had seen Marty trying to propose that in ping pong, because the ball is white, the players can't wear white because you're not able to see the ball. So he's proposing that they develop a ping pong ball that is orange so that ping pong players can dress more like tennis players, which is more elegant and would elevate the sport. And initially, that businessman seems like he's not too into it. Mm-hmm. But now that Marty has been gone touring, he's back, he goes to this guy because he needs somewhere to put Rachel.
Yes.
And that guy tells him, oh, my dad and I decided to invest in your orange ball idea. And he shows them they've sourced a bunch of balls. They're called Marty Supreme, which is where the name of the movie comes from, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And they're really cute packaging with orange ping pong balls.
And Rachel is my sister.
He lies about her condition. Well, he says she's pregnant, but that she's his sister, not that I got this married woman pregnant.
Which was Richard Gere and is it Brooke Adams in Days of Heaven? Like, my sister. Yes, but they need a place to stay. The parents are out of town. I mean, also it's a running joke that this man is in his 30s still living with his parents. But so their plan is to crash there for a few days. And Timothée, it's still needing the money he needs, decides, let's go find that dog because I bet we can ransom it to Abel Ferrara.
Rachel and Marty make their way to the area where Marty knew the dog had flew out of the car. And they find this house in that rural area. They go to it. Marty sees that the dog is inside the house. But before he can take the dog, the owner of the house comes home brandishing a shotgun and shoots at them. Like, get off my property. Mm-hmm. Also, now that they're in New York and we see that Gwyneth is working on a show her husband has funded.
She's come out of retirement.
So Marty goes to see her. They end up having sex in her hotel room. And while they're having sex in the shower, Marty sort of like snatches her diamond necklace with the intention of pawning it. But when he goes to the pawn shop, they're like, fool, this is costume jewelry.
So their plan to swindle Abel Ferrara doesn't quite go as they would like because, you know, they don't have access to the dog. It's locked up in some redneck's house, some violent redneck's house. So that falls through, but concurrently, the sponsor of these ping pong balls, the father comes home, so they can no longer stay there. And there's this huge scene with Rachel and Marty in this house. They get kicked out. She had put on a performance to try to stay, and she'd been crying. And the black eye that we all thought she had is mascara, and that's running down her face. And that's when we realize that she, like Marty, is bending reality to her will. So he tells her, like, basically kick rocks and go back home. I can't believe that you did this to me, which she does, and goes and tells her husband that this isn't your child. And then there's another violent shouting match there. And so then Rachel takes it upon herself to try to swindle Abel Ferrara. And that goes left real quick because she has no idea what she's doing. And that's when we learn how violent this man Ezra is, because he shows up to meet Rachel in a public location. She's like, this man's going to come out of this restaurant with your dog. Give me the money. He pushes her aside. And once he realizes that that is not his dog, this man is holding that Rachel had put up to the job, they stab him and kidnap her.
Yeah. At the same time, Marty goes back to Gwyneth to basically, he's trying to hustle her again by saying, hey, I stole your necklace, but I feel bad, so I'm here to bring it back. And she goes, boy, you think I'm stupid? You know what I think really happened? You stole my necklace, tried to pawn it. They told you it was costume jewelry, and now you're back to get some money from me. But she says, it's okay. If I were you, I'd try to steal from me too. But that's when her publicist walks in, played by Isaac Mizrahi.
Another great cameo.
Yes. And he's like, oh, am I interrupting something? Boy, no, this is just an aspiring actor trying to get some advice. Oh, okay. Well,
but he's not very good, so he's leaving.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, well, you want to see the show tonight. So Marty gets a ticket. And it's so well done because as the audience, we only see Gwyneth's character's like big moment in the show.
With her co-star, Fred Hetchinger.
Which was also a nice surprise. And as far as we know, the audience in the show like enjoyed her performance. So then we cut to the after party and everyone is living.
And Gwyneth has sent Marty a note to meet her in the park at midnight.
So they meet in the park and she says, well, because she seems to be riding high. And she says, well, I feel bad. Here, take this necklace. Every year, my husband gives me a piece of jewelry, and I hate his ass, and every time I wear it, it makes my skin crawl, so you take it.
She goes, I have 19 more of these.
This should be more than enough to pay off all your debts and get you wherever you need to go. So they end up having sex in the park and get caught by the damn police. The police recognize her and then hustle her out of that damn necklace. So as they're walking back to the hotel, of course, Gwyneth is shaken and like, I can't believe this happened to me. And Marty goes, well, are you going to give me another necklace? You have like 12 more. And she goes, are you crazy? No.
Meanwhile, her husband has thrown her a party. It's actually at their house that there's a party. There's a whole bunch of people waiting to celebrate with her. She's been gone a while.
But she finally agrees, fine, stay here outside. Do not move. I will go upstairs, get a necklace, come back down. But when she gets upstairs, her publicist says, oh, the first reviews are in. Come to the phone so you can hear them. And then a lot of time passes. So Marty realizes something that is not right. He goes into the house and sees Gwyneth's character crying hysterically. So clearly the reviews were horrible.
Well, she's holed up in her bedroom and a bunch of people are there and they're like, it's not a good time.
Trying to console her, yeah. So what does Marty do? Go to Mr. Rockwell and beg, please give me another chance. I'll go to Japan. I'll play endo.
I'll lose.
I'll be a good boy. I'm on my knees. I'm humbling myself, please. And Mr. Rockwell, being the asshole he is, kind of plays with him and goes, fine. And he's surrounded by other rich assholes. He's like, but there's one more thing you need to do. Go into my office down the hall and grab one of those Japanese paddles and come back. And of course, we see Mr. Rockwell paddle Timothée's bare ass. So for those who care, you get 2 times to see it.
Like a naughty little boy. But then finally, off we are to Japan.
And the first person we meet in Japan is that official with the Ping Pong Association. And Marty says, hey, girl, I'm here. So go ahead and sign me up for the next tournament.
Well, first he's like, I'm so sorry for being rude to you.
Yeah.
That won't happen again.
He's so insincere. But the official says, oh, it's too late.
This man can't stand
Yeah,
him.
I already don't like you, and you know that. I already did the brackets. I took my time. You think I'm going to redo everything for you? No. So Marty is devastated and now has to play Endo. He throws the fight like a good boy, but that's not enough. They're like, oh, since you lost, you have to kiss a pig. And Marty loses it. But I totally got ahead of myself because before he even gets to Japan, Marty goes, another really fun part of the story is there's this ping pong gym, the likes of which you see in every boxing movie.
Uh-huh.
Like there's a full ping pong gym in New York City somewhere. And it's run by a bunch of black men who, like older gentlemen who seem to like Marty. Mm-hmm. So somehow he's decent to them. Like he hasn't swindled them yet. But he goes there and Abel Ferrara shows up. And he has kidnapped Rachel and kidnaps Marty and says, I will stab Rachel in the belly unless you come with me and take me to where my dog is. So they go to that house in New Jersey, and that man with the shotgun shoots and kills Abel Ferrara and his henchmen and shoots Rachel in the titty. But Marty is able to get that bag of money. Mm-hmm. So at least he has his bag of money when he goes to Japan. So when he blows his top, he's not too worried because he has money. But then he convinces the Japanese officials to tell the crowd in Japanese, because there's a translator, that this match was rigged and that they deserve to see a real match. And then the crowd gets hype and starts chanting. And of course, Mr. Rockwell's sitting there fuming. They have a real match. Of course, Marty wins.
Well, Endo, importantly, agrees to it as well.
And agrees to it. Because he also convinces Endo that, like, this is also beneath you to have this match set up and you're not actually winning against me. Mm-hmm. So that causes a stir. Of course, Mr. Rockwell tells Marty, you're done. Mm-hmm. And if you think you're getting on my private plane, forget about it. But of course, Marty has a bunch of money. He gets back to New York City and he calls the hospital. Because we have to remember, before he left to Japan, he had taken Rachel to the hospital to get her gunshot wound checked. So when he comes back like 2 days later, she's been transferred from surgery to the maternity ward. So clearly she's had the baby. And so the final scene is Marty going to see Rachel. Mm-hmm. And then he sees his baby. Mm-hmm. And I thought the funniest part was the look on the baby's face when it sees its dad.
When the kid sees the dad, and also the way that baby's looking at the nurse holding him too, is they got some good expressions out of that infant.
Man, this was such a rich story. I know we just spoiled all of it, but it's really worth the time. Oh,
yeah, for sure. I agree. It's also, 2.5 hours about there?
I will say, as much as I don't like 2+ hour movies, it
goes by like everything is nonstop. Every bit of dialogue is in service to something else that's going to be conjured up later. It's all, there's no spare fat to the film. Like,
no.
Even at that length, it feels kind of lean and mean. It's entertaining. It's dark. I agree that maybe there's a lack of emotion or empathy you might feel for these characters, because at the end of the day, Marty's not a good person.
No, he's not. So I said the lack of emotion. I also think we see ping pong being played mainly like 4 times. 2 of those times were the montage with the Harlem Globetrotters, and then earlier when Gwyneth's character comes to see Marty play, he tells Bella, oh, this match, let's like jazz it up. So they start doing tricks, and that was fun.
Yes.
But the other 2 main matches, like the one at the end with Endo and then the first one we watched, they were a little dry to me.
I think the score greatly enhances the final face-off with Endo. But, your critique of it being anticlimactic, I think that's part of the point, because all of that work to show what? For nothing. He gets nothing from that moment.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, it does exemplify the fact that and I feel like after the movie was done, I don't have high hopes for Marty.
Oh, not at all. Or that poor child.
I think he's going to destroy himself.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
He's burned too many bridges. He doesn't know how to fall in line.
This was the Burning Bridges tour for Marty. We also forgot to mention a moment after Endo wins in London, there is a montage of newsreels from Japan.
Oh, that was really well done.
That I thought was also excellent. Yeah, it's really funny, kind of tongue in cheek.
And I'd be lying if I said I really ever understand the point of anachronistic soundtracks. And this film has that. It isn't distracting, but it always...
I think it enhances the intention of the filmmaker.
That being said, I thought I knew what my top 2 films for 2025 were going to be, but now that I've seen this film, it shook it up.
Well, like I said, for American filmmakers this year, it's between Josh Safdie and P.T. Anderson. But I think it's funny that the Safdies both had their own separate sports-related films this year that have integral moments in Japan.
Oh, The Smashing Machine.
The Smashing Machine,
That's right.
Yes. Which, again, had some decent performances in it. But to me, this is... I think if you're a fan of the Safdies because of the style of their previous films, then this is very much in line with those.
Despite my critiques, I thought this film was spectacular. What would you give Marty Supreme?
4.5.
I would also give it 4.5 out of 5. Join us on Patreon and listen to our podcast. Bye.